Okay, so I'm making this video to walk anyone who is absent or who just wants to revisit how to graph and make a correlation using Google Sheets. So here's our info, right? We have those who filled out the chart. We got your height and your shoe size. We're going to see if there's a correlation. So give me a green check mark if you think there will be a correlation, or a red X if you think there will not be a correlation. Okay, and then tell me, do you think there will be in the chat, right? Will it be strong, moderate, weak, or no correlation? What do you think? What do you think we'll find? Okay, so now let's walk through how to graph this. So it's pretty simple, and that's why you've all done it by hand in your math classes. So we're going to learn how to do it in Google Sheets, and it's really straightforward, which is good. So the first thing we'll do is go to Insert, Chart. So boom, click Chart. Okay, great. So it's already made us a scatter plot. If it does not show you a scatter plot, what you're going to do, and here we have good, that's nice. We can scroll down, there's line graph, area, column, bar, and we want scatter plot. So if it's not showing scatter plot, you can click it there. But for me, it's all good. And we have our info. So our x-axis is height in inches. So say it doesn't show this. Say you're having a problem. Let me remove it. Okay, oh no, I don't have an x-axis. So if you want to change your x-axis, you hit the select data range. And first, let me make this smaller so we can see our data range again. So I'm going to go to, hey, this right here, select data range for X, and I'm going to include height because I want my x-axis to be the height. I'm going to highlight it, then hit OK. And good, so now I have a height down here. We don't want to click aggregate because that will mess up our data, so don't click that. Shoe size looks good. I lost my label, so I'm going to go back. Add labels. Nope, that's not what I want. So don't add labels. And you'll just see some of the problems that you can run into. Okay, so this looks pretty good, right? But we want even more info. So we want to know how strong it is, all those kinds of things. So let's go to customize over here in the chart editor. And okay, chart title looks good, but I want it to be black so it stands out more. I want to align it in the center, and I want to make it bold so it really stands out. So we're comparing shoe size to height here. Then also I lost my height title. So let's name it. So height in inches. So everyone's height in inches. Good. Okay, so we have all our axes labeled. That's important. We have a title. Style is if you want to change up how it looks, but it looks good right now, right? Series, so shoe size. Do we want to mess with it? Maybe we don't like blue. We want to make it purple. And hey, I don't like these dots are a little big, so I'm going to make them 2. So that way we can see a little bit how close they are. If you add labels, data labels, it's kind of squished. It just tells you we don't need that right now for this example. But we do want a trend line. So now we can see, is this positive or negative? So height increases and so does shoe size. So it looks like we have a positive relationship here. Okay. Labels, we don't want any labels, but what I do want is the R value. So this tells us how strong it is. So we have an R value of 0.6. So that is above 0.45, but below 0.75. So that's moderate. We have a moderate relationship here between height and shoe size. And so the label, I don't need trend line for shoe size. I just want trend line. So good, that makes it a little less crowded up here in our legend. Okay, scroll up, up, up. And that looks good to me. Legend, we can change how the legend looks, but I think it looks fine. What else do we need? Let me exit my screen. So, okay, we have everything we need here. This looks good, right? We have our trend line. It's showing us shoe size and height in inches. So here's my question though. Let's look at outliers. So what are some outliers here? Which ones do you see? So outliers that do not fit the pattern. So first I look at, okay, what's up with this? Someone put that they are 98 inches tall. So if you do the math, that's almost, so if 5 feet is 60 inches, so 2.5 feet is 30 inches. So someone is over 7.5 feet tall. So this is like, hey, this is something wrong with the data here. I know that there's no one that's over 7.5 feet tall because that would be like a world record. So that's an outlier and it's inaccurate. So let's find that in our data here. And this is why outliers are important because they may be inaccurate. So someone put that they were 7.5 feet tall and have a shoe size of 26.5. So I know that this is inaccurate. So maybe someone got confused or they messed up their math. So that needs to go because that's messing up our data. So let's see what that does to our R value. So delete the row. And look, now our R value is a lot weaker. So we had some incorrect data and we take it out and it was really affecting our information here. So now we see, oh, actually the height doesn't really affect shoe size so much. It's actually a weak positive relationship here. So there's a lot more going on. There's other variables that are affecting our shoe size. So, okay. And then we have one other outlier. So someone, let's scroll down. They're 89 inches tall and they have a shoe size of 9. So let's think. 89 inches is, again, 7.5 feet tall. And I know we don't have any 7.5 feet tall people. So I think, again, we have someone that made a mistake. So you don't always want to be deleting data. That's, outliers sometimes happen and that's okay. But I know that none of you are 7.5 feet or taller. So this is another incorrect data. Maybe their shoe size is 9, but we're going to have to, let's take that out and see what it does. Okay, so our trend line now looks a little more meaningful, right? So we have people are getting taller. So 70 inches, that's reasonable. So that's 5'10". So 5'10", that's like average height. And we have shoe sizes up to about 11 or 12.5. And we see a weak positive trend. It's a little bit stronger. And so now we have a good understanding of how height influences shoe size among the 40 or so students who answered. So this is how you can set up a graph and how you can complete your homework. Good work.